say, who's going to pick our cotton? Y'all do realize that this is the same argument that people used before the Civil War? How can we get rid of slavery? Who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to tend our fields? Y'all do realize this is the same argument that people use to justify slavery. And now y'all are using it because people in America who are broke, who are collecting unemployment, and everybody else who's just sitting at home doing nothing, they're too good to work on a farm. So we're going to justify, let the migrants do that shit. We don't even want to do that. Let the migrants do that shit. We're too good for that. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I'm a corporate nigga, right? That's what we're saying in our minds. This shit is crazy. This is crazy, bro, how we think and how our minds. And now we sit back and wonder, well, how were people aligning more? How were so many people aligning with slavery and agreeing with slavery? Maybe it's because they just needed somebody to work on the farms and they didn't want to do it themselves.
Oh my God.
Unc said, I still say that he shouldn't mess with the farm workers, though there's no Americans that's going to want to do that work. Just look at the farms in Florida. Interesting point that you made, Unc. So I think we're going to play a video, and I don't know if this gentleman is accurate, but I believe that if I was to ask you, what percentage of the illegal migrants here, undocumented, whatever you want to call it, what percentage of them do you think works on farms? So this was presented on CNN. I don't know if they fact checked it or whatever. They said 4%. Matter of fact, let me bring up the video. Don't trip. Don't trust my word. Don't trust my word. Let's actually bring up the clip. Don't even trip. I think I got it right here. That's not it. Hold on. Don't trip. We'll take a look at that CNN video later. 1 second. I'm gonna bring it up because everybody likes to say, who's gonna pick our cotton? Y'all do realize that this is the same argument that people used before the Civil War? How can we get rid of slavery? Who's gonna pick our cotton? Who's gonna tend our fields? Y'all do realize this is the same argument that people use to justify slavery. And now y'all are using it because people in America who are broke, who are collecting unemployment, and everybody else who's just sitting at home doing nothing, they're too good to work on a farm. So we're going to justify, let the migrants do that shit. We don't even want to do that. Let the migrants do that shit. We're too good for that. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I'm a corporate nigga, right? That's what we're saying in our minds. This shit is crazy. This is crazy, bro, how we think and how our minds. And now we sit back and wonder, well, how were people aligning more? How were so many people aligning with slavery and agreeing with slavery? Maybe it's because they just needed somebody to work on the farms and they didn't want to do it themselves. Let's take a look. Hold on. Let me get to this CNN video that I was referring to. Shoot. This is the one clip that I didn't have. This is the one clip that I didn't have a link to. Don't worry, I'm gonna find it for y'all. Hold on. Let me just look at my history. I literally was just looking at it. This is crazy. This is crazy. What is going on? All right, so I got it right here. Share this tab instead. Can y'all see? All right. Let me go to the 7. What mark is it? 7 minutes and 42 seconds. That's the timestamp. So to your point, Unc, you said that we should keep all the migrants here. Like everybody seems to be talking about the farms. Talking about the farms. It's like talking about it's like the trans, like Joe Biden. My number one priority is the trans. Why? It's 0.1%, 1%. Like that's what you're the president of everybody in America, but you're going to prioritize 1% of the people in America. That sounds pretty elitist to me. That sounds like what people get mad at Trump for saying. Oh, he's only being a president to the top 1%. Well, what's the difference between Joe Biden saying I'm making my number one priority the LGBTQ? Now that's more than 1%, but whatever. Yeah, man. It's me. Sometimes I realize it's me. It's me. I'm just tripping. Like Vaughn said, I'm just talking crazy. Don't mind me. I'm just talking crazy. Listen to this.
Had criminal records. And so the protest, only about 113 people had criminal records. And so the protests that you're hearing, the voices that you're hearing from people are about those mothers or about those children or about those people who make our lives run every single day, who are not criminals, because no one will sit up here and tell you that if you committed a crime, you shouldn't be deported, but those individuals who are part of the fabric of our lives. And this is Trump's America. And that's what we're seeing. And one of the things that I want to hear from my Republican colleagues is, look, Trump is talking about ICE raids in Philadelphia next, and Detroit next, and Chicago next. But what about those plants that we know are bringing in illegal immigrants in Arkansas? What about those plants in South Carolina with Governor Henry McMaster, or those agricultural facilities in Brian Kemp's Georgia? I mean, are we really cracking down on immigration or illegal immigration? Or are you trying to pit Americans against each other? Because that's what we're seeing on TV. It's black versus brown. It's immigrant versus citizen. It's East versus West. This is Donald Trump's America, and I think people are fighting back against that.
No, Bakari Sellers. This is the Democrat America. As somebody who used to feed into all the race baiting, as somebody who I leave most of my posts up from years ago, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I remember I started to delete a couple when I was looking for a job, maybe like 10 years. And I was like, man, whatever, just leave it up there. It's too much work. It is what it is. As somebody who used to have this same mindset, everything's racist. I was one of these critical race theories, seeing the world through race first. Everything has a racial dynamic to it. Everything is them versus us. Everything is the white man. Everything is the gut. I was one of those people. And I thought like that when I was aligned with the Democrats, when I was aligned with the liberals. Not now. So what is he really saying? This is the propaganda that Democrats and liberals bring up when it comes to Trump to try to make Trump seem as racist as possible, because they know that that's the one thing that will trigger minorities, right? Racism. Trump's a racist. He's a fascist. He's basically Hitler. All these things that they used to say. All of these things.
First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already,
Listen to the response from what Bakari Sellers just said. Hey, Unc, this is to your point about we should be allowing the people working on farms to stay here.
Republican friend, you want to answer?
I'm the friend.
Bakari,
Right?
you are the friend.
I would just
I'm
put it
the
out
friend.
there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you hear that they're going after these facilities in Georgia and in
They're
South
not.
Carolina,
They're not.
or these farmers or these big corporate farmers, people don't realize that of all the undocumented population in America today, what percent is in agriculture? Do you know that, Bakari?
Tell me, educate
It's
me.
4%. 4%. Not too many.
I was going to say 5, but okay.
Pompous. Do you know the percentage, Bakari? Tell me, educate me. 4%. I was going to say 5, but you were going to say 5? Like, all right. So I know all the Democrats and liberals, Vons and everybody else on here, and Unc, I don't know if this is your mindset. I know we like to think that all undocumented migrants, they either work at Home Depot or they're working on a farm. I know in our minds we like to think that, but it seems to be not the case. It's not the case. 4% of the undocumented people here are working on farms. And that's like the number one argument that you hear from Democrats and liberals as to why we should not deport migrants that are here illegally. And everything that Bakari said in his first statement was, these are the people that make up the fabric of our country. They're not criminals. They came here illegally. Let me ask y'all a question, because just like Simone Biles, who came at Riley Gaines, because Riley Gaines has a stance, she's very clear on her stance, and she has a solution based that she's presenting, and Simone Biles criticizes her, but has no solution that she's presenting on her end. I've been asking y'all since the beginning of the show, what do you want to do with the illegal migrants? What do you think should be done? Well, it's the way that he's doing stuff. It's the way that they're going about it. They got to do. How do you expect to solve a problem with that is so drastic based on what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden created? This is the equivalent. There was there was something that Muhammad Ali said, and he was talking about people being racist in America. And it's funny how it kind of applies to it kind of just came to my mind. I guess we'll see if it applies when I'm done saying it. And it was focused around, he said, hey, if there's 1,000 snakes behind this door, let's say I'm in a room and there's a million snakes in that door. Like when you open that door, there's 1,000,000 snakes, but 100 of the snakes are friendly, right? Or whatever it is. I'm getting ready to say, let's say there's 100 snakes so I can get my percentages right. So I don't got to do too much math. Let's say there's 100 snakes behind that room, some big anacondas. But 5% of the snakes, or 5 of the snakes, solid snakes. They're not going to bite you. How do you suggest we go and figure out who's this person, who's that? And maybe this is a bad example. It's cool. But how do you think that they should address what I think? And I don't know if Vons even acknowledges that there is an illegal migrant crisis here. I think Mama Lay acknowledges that. But how do you suggest they go about fixing this problem? And let me ask you a follow-up question, Vons, because you may not have a suggestion, and that's perfectly fine. But what do the people that you vote for, what do they present as a solution to this problem? Has anybody that you voted for or anybody that you align with, the women that you love, Maxine Waters, you said you love Jasmine Crockett, what do they suggest that we do with this issue? I'm just asking. I doubt you can tell me anything because they never present solutions. Everything is just anti what the other side is doing. Why? Because it's a way that they can grab us emotionally. Let's keep going with this.
I've been in Manhattan here for a couple of days. I don't see any farms here. I don't see any farms in Philadelphia. I don't see any farms in downtown LA. So the concentration of undocumented people are in big cities. They're in Los Angeles, they're in Chicago. And to see President Trump, frankly, he just doesn't trust Gavin Newsom to do a good job. And that's why he sent the National Guard.
Speaking of Gavin Newsom sent me a text. I assume it was from Gavin Newsom. It says Gavin Newsom here. Gavin Newsom sent me a text. Can y'all see that? Hold on. I don't know. Whatever. It's a picture of Gavin, and he sent me a text, and he says, Gavin Newsom here, asking if there is anything, and he wrote anything in capital letters. Is there anything, or asking if there's anything I can say to convince you to donate to help me continue to fight back against the attacks and threats from the Trump administration? I can't do this alone. If everyone getting this text donated even $10 or $20, we'd have the resources to continue the fight against the Trump administration's attacks and go on offense. Did he say anything in this text? Oh, wait, hold on. So please, if standing up to Trump matters to you, please donate to my campaign for Democracy PAC today. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. And it takes you to Gavin Newsom's website. This is what Democrats and liberals do. And this is why nobody has been able to answer my question, whether the question of what a Democrat would do, how do you suggest acknowledging the illegal migrant issue? This is why nobody can answer my question when I said that Democrats are literally exhibiting the same behavior that they complain about in Republicans. And I said, maybe Republicans do the same. Just give me an example. This is why nobody can give me an example on that. This is why when I asked y'all, what are the foundational principles of Democrats and liberals? Nobody can give me an answer on that because they don't ever talk about anything. There's nothing foundational here. His entire text to me is based on me donating to him to fight against Trump. What are you fighting against Trump? What you need to be doing is addressing the fire issues in Cali that were happening a few months ago. What you need to be doing is addressing the riots that are happening in your city or in your cities. What you need to be doing is addressing the transgender boys or the biological boys playing sports against girls because you jumped out the window in your interview with Charlie Kirk, trying to be liked and trying to get on the common sense train, saying that it's unfair for boys to be playing sports against girls and you have daughters and that you wouldn't be okay with them having that unfair advantage. But then here it is happening in your state. So Gavin, when you ask me, is there anything I can say to convince you to donate to help me continue to fight back against the attacks and threats from the Trump administration? What attacks? What threats? When you say if standing up to Trump matters to you, what are we standing up against? Just let me know. Maybe I'll align with you. But you're not telling me anything. And this is what Vons wrote. See, this is the difference. Instead of Vons saying, damn, we really should know what we're like supporting. We really should know what our money's going towards. You wrote all politicians send that. You know the difference if Donald Trump sends that? You actually know what Donald Trump stands on. He's made it very clear. Everything that he campaigned on doing, that's what he's doing, whether you like it or not. He said he was going to implement tariffs, doing it. Said he was going to get rid of illegal migrants, doing it. Said he was going to close the border, doing it. Said he was going to address the issue of boys playing sports, doing it. Said he was going to address the issue of merit-based versus DEI, doing it. Tell me one thing that your favorite politician said that they're standing on. Tell me one thing that Biden said that he was going to do and did it. Tell me one thing that Biden said, since I should have empathy based on Vons' comment earlier. You said I should have empathy based on our friend group. Now, when you're talking about our mutual friends, everybody's black. So let me be very clear. You tell me one thing that Biden or Barack did for the black community that they said they were going to do and that they did. I'll wait. And anybody else can tap in as well if you have an answer as well. I'm always open to it. Let's just be honest. People that tend to vote Democrat, you're voting emotionally. You're either a one-issue voter. It's either one of two things. You're either a one-issue voter, or I'm voting because my favorite politician said Donald Trump's getting rid of Social Security and Medicaid. So yeah, I'm just going to vote Trump. I'm just going to vote Democrat. You're either a single-issue voter or you're an emotional voter. Those are the people that I come into contact with, and all you got to do is look at the damn chat. How many times has Vaughn said I'm crazy? Oh man. All right, let's keep going. Hold on. Let me finish this convo and then we'll move on. We're all out of sorts, but it is what it is.
I don't know that it's, I'm sure he doesn't trust Gavin Newsom, but it also seems like an attempt to make California into a symbol of an attempt to kind of go after the liberal establishment.
Are we, hold on. Am I in like a different planet? Did Donald Trump create these riots? She is sitting here saying that Donald Trump is using this as a political moment. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But I don't ever hear these people discuss what we've been seeing. I didn't even put it on the show. All these people that are jumping out, they are paying protesters. They've been doing it for a very long time. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, George Soros, they pay people. These are professional protesters. So here Abby will convince Donald Trump of trying to use this as a political statement when the entire issue is a political statement. The entire riot is a political statement. Oh my God. Oh my God. So let me see what Mama Lay. Yeah, crickets, right? Mo Crutch, crickets. So let's look what Mama Lay wrote. I agree. Being from Chicago, I was very disappointed with no change when Obama was in office all those years. Obama didn't do anything. He pushed. Obama was the LGBTQ president. He did more for them than he did for. Like, what did Barack Obama do?
Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.